and a very good evening. Latin Live Lounge, Sunday evening, and we're back. The dynamic duo, Batman and Robin.
Woohoo!
And yes, I've had a haircut as well for a change. Look at that. Oh my God.
Oh, look at mine. Hold on. Look at mine. Hold on. Woohoo!
Woohoo. You got a ponytail as well. My word.
But I'm gonna keep it here.
Back in the day when I was, oh my God, I can't even remember when. My hair was like shoulder length. Could have done a good advert for a shampoo company. Never mind. In the meantime,
seriously, no, hold on. I want to talk about the shampoo company. Come on.
No. I said I could have done.
Oh, you could. Oh,
yeah.
You disappointed me now. Almost. You should have done it. Not could have. You should have done it, man.
No.
I've seen your photographs with long hair. Absolutely, Baywatch kind of material. You know.
The 6-pack day.
6-pack. Yeah.
Now it's just one pack with 6 bottles. Anyway, amazing. We're back. Good evening, guys. Thank you for tuning in. This is DJ Amos and DJ Muzy on Latin Live Lounge. And in the room, we're going to have later on Mr. Alex Wilson. He's an absolute legend, like Muzy said, and I say so as well. And the last time I met up with Alex was when I went to a concert in London at the Barbican Centre where Afro-Cubism were performing. And we met in the corridor there and we had a banter. I'm going to share a video from that evening when we were trying to record the intro to the event for the radio, and it was really funny where Keely got it all wrong. But anyway, in the meantime, now we're going to be talking about the charity that's taking place next week, the charity walk. Muzy, so you started off.
Okay, so welcome to Latin Love Lounge, Ritmo del Mundo. This is DJ Muzy and DJ Amos welcoming you again, and we're going to celebrate the friendship, love, and affection as we always do. And we have been doing this for 67 weeks. Can you believe that? And with many special guests. Sometimes we invited ourselves, me and DJ Amos, to Latin Live Lounge to be your special guest, and you were the special guests too. And it's been absolute brilliant, and banter, laughter, engagement, all in one umbrella. And that's Latin Live Lounge, Ritmo del Mundo to you. And so yes, before we gone live or broadcasting live, actually we had Alex Wilson for about a few minutes. Me and Amos were talking to him at the back of the studio, an absolute legend. I just can't wait to talk to him. You know, there's so much to find out about him. I don't know whether we're going to fit everything in the next 2 hours or so, but hoping that he might come back again. So get your questions ready. Anything that you want to ask him, you know, just take the opportunity. I mean, this is the guy who you've been dancing, whether you knew that was Alex's piece of music or not. It doesn't matter. It's so popular. You've been dancing to his music, you know, like, you know, you loving his music and everything, you know, it's amazing. I just can't wait, honestly. This is a very, very good day for me and Amos. And of course, we've got Anja joining us as well, all the way from Germany as a guest. Hello, Anja. We're going to come back to you in a minute, but let's warm up the room, and I'll put music on, and starting with a bit of a boogaloo, really, and bringing Victor Manuel. Here we go.
You know what is this? This is Boogaloo, baby.
La combinación que todos estaban esperando. Doblete, Víctor Manuel. Ay, yo tengo un ritmo que te va a gustar. Víctor Manuel y Doblete.
Anja, hello.
Bailaba tu abuelita, ahora lo bailas tú. Ritmo bueno, sabroso para la juventud. Ahora va a empezar la fiesta, así que apaga la luz. Se juntaron los boricuas, los de la candela, los que reparten la gozadera. Ritmo moderno con algo de la vieja escuela. W, tú no te quedes afuera.
What's this rhythm that makes me feel
Nice haircut, DJ Amos.
Boogaloo, chica. vela caer, no se para de mover, tú le estás fronteando y se tiene que defender. Ella quiere beber, bailar hasta el amanecer, la del poder, el party se acaba de encender. Dale pa' arriba, dale pa' abajo, oh, mira el flow que ella trajo, yo conozco el atajo. Dale pa' arriba, dale pa' abajo, esta noche hay pelea, con su cintura me fajo. Vamos a ponerle un toque boricua a esto.
Very good evening to Susan Farrago, Natalia as well in the house. Great rights. Share the love, share the link. Tag people, the more the merrier. Let's have a party together with our special guest. Alex Wilson will be joining us shortly. And we're going to talk to you about the charity walk that's happening on the 26th of September.
Se llama esto, W. Boogaloo Supreme.
Boogaloo Supreme by Victor Manuel.
Reunión gerencial.
Wow, wow, wow. Bienvenidos a Latin Live Lounge Ritmo del Mundo. DJ Muzy and DJ Amos greeting you all the way from Inglaterra, Sheffield and Manchester. And we've got a guest also joining us, Anja McBrien, all the way from Germany. How are you, Anja?
Hello. Can't hear you, sweet. Oh, you're on mute. You're on. Oh, hello. We're back now. Can you say something? Hello. Hello, hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello, hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Good evening.
Hello, how are you?
I'm really excited to be on your show. How is everybody?
All good here, all good. Thank you for joining us this evening. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. It's great. I know that you've got plenty of questions for Alex, so we're looking forward to that. But how was your day today?
Not too bad, thank you. Very sunny and a lovely Sunday, thank you. I had to work, but that doesn't matter. That's okay.
Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant. We're really glad you're with us. How is your mum, by the way? I got to ask that question.
Oh, she's really well. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Touch wood. I hope it stays like that.
Touch wood, yes. There we go. Absolutely. Great, great. Muzy, you still carry on, and I'll still finish off the sharing here and then take it from there.
Coolio. Excellent. Very good to see you, Anja. And I'm going to ask you, how's your body isolation movements going? Have you been practicing?
Yeah, a little bit. Also, the sun is so nice, so I'm doing a lot of hiking and walking. But yeah,
Excellent.
I'm practicing a bit.
Excellent. Lovely to see you here anyway with us, broadcasting live. And as you know, we're actually having a Stephen Hughes having a hike. One amazing hike is happening on Sunday, the 26th of September for the Stephen Hughes Foundation charity. And Happy Wanderers already gathering their stuff and getting ready for next Sunday. So what do you know about the charity? Are you going to join us? Are you going to hire a helicopter all the way from Germany to come over England and do the walk with us?
Yes, definitely. The hike looks so lovely because Gary Hughes already showed us a little bit how the walkway looks, and it's just breathtaking. And I wish I could join you. So yeah, I will have a helicopter and a parachute ready to join you.
Brilliant.
That is the spirit.
Can I just say thank you very much for your generous donation as well? It's I mentioned that to Gary and Hazel, and they were delighted as well. So it's much appreciated. I'm sure it will go a long way in helping those who are get the infection myocarditis. But we spoke about that a few weeks ago. But yeah, guys, if you want to donate, I'll send the link up on the page later on. Every penny is welcome because this is for a great cause. This is our second time we're doing the charity event for the Stephen Hughes Foundation, and it's a great cause, and absolutely welcome every penny.
Absolutely, absolutely. Can't wait. It's a 10-mile walk. It equates to 16 kilometers. It's in Dovedale, a lovely part of the Peak District. And the set-off is going to be, everybody meets up in the car park, which is all the details in the Facebook event page anyway. And also, if you want to, if you're in doubt, then just go to the Stephen Hughes Foundation charity Facebook page, and you can see all the details. So 9:30 meeting up, and the sharp 10 o'clock, we're going to set off with the Happy Wanderers, and the walk starts from 10 a.m. in the UK time, and it's absolutely awesome. There is it's a very interesting walk. It's up on the mountains, down on the mountain, next to the river, and going across the river with the stepping stones. And then 1 minute you're in the caves, next minute you're in the jungle, and through the fields and everything, and then you reach to your destination in one piece. Absolutely brilliant. So I can't wait to meet all of you on Sunday. We can't wait to meet all of you on Sunday. Talking about Gary Hughes, he did a great interview on the BBC Radio Sheffield. And so, those of you who missed the interview, go and have a look at the BBC Radio iPlayer, and you can catch up the interview. It's only 10 minutes, and I'm actually putting something together as well for you guys, those of you who missed it. So I can't wait. The charity already raised about £75,000. The aim is to reach £100,000, and every little helps. And thank you for sponsoring me as well. And I would like to mention names like Pele Nakan, Cheryl White, Pat Dobson, a few others that I can't remember. Sorry, but I'm sure I'll remember. But so thank you, namely. For your generous donations. You're absolutely brilliant. We're 1 week to go, so more donations come. Welcome. Anything from £1 to £1,000. So it's your choice.
Absolutely. In the house we have Alex Wilson, so we'll be bringing him into the studio shortly. But in the meantime, I'll play one track, and then I'll play a track from one of his friends. Actually. We had them as our guests not so long ago, and it'd be really great to. There we are. They're here, and they're absolutely amazing musicians. And let's listen to one of their tracks. And this is Marcando Negro Llego. Here we go. 1, 2. Okay, Ken.
Bailadores, se ha formado el vacilón. Vayan, saquen su pareja, Mercado Negro llegó. Prepárense bailadoras, se ha formado el vacilón. Vayan, saquen su pareja, Mercado Negro llegó. Prepárense bailadores, se ha formado el vacilón. Vayan, saquen su pareja, Mercado Negro llegó.
Vamos sonando por el mundo, nuestro ritmo sin igual, tocando salsa y montuno, ritmo bueno para bailar. No te me quedes sentado, no lo podrás evitar. Si tu cuerpo pide salsa, salsa le vamos a dar.
Prepárense bailadores, se ha formado el vacilón. Vayan, saquen su pareja, Mercado Negro llegó. Prepárense bailadores, se ha formado el vacilón. Vayan, saquen su pareja, Mercado Negro llegó.
Las mujeres y los hombres, cuando no escuchan sonar, dejan lo que están haciendo para ponerse a bailar. Si no prestan lo que digo, esta es mi demostración. Mira cómo baila esa negra tan linda y ha perdido hasta el control.
De salsa, le vamos a
negro llegó.
Cuerpo de salsa le vamos a dar.
Yo te daré un tumbao sabroso para que lo baile rico y chévere. Pero qué rico, mami. Y vuelve.
Mercado negro llego.
Sal por aquí, sal por allá. Mercado negro encontrará. Y no me digas que no te gusta a ti bailar. Y no me digas que no te gusta a ti mi salsa sabrosa.
Prepárense, que ahí viene el mercado negro pa' que lo baile usted. Levántese, prepárense, que ahí viene el mercado negro pa' que lo goce usted.
Traemos salsa y de la buena
Pa' que lo baile usted.
Ay, si tú no sabes bailar, qué triste condena.
Pa' que lo goce usted.
Ven, no te me quedes sentado bailando. Ven a saciar y aprieta ahí, que bailando no tendrás
Pa' que
rival.
lo goce usted.
Gracias a la vida, hoy
Pa'
me
que lo
quedo
baile
gozar.
usted.
Rodrigo Miranda, César Correa, Rodrigo
Pa'
Rodríguez,
que lo
José
goce
Mendoza y Gabriel. Somos Mercado Negro. Ajá.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. What a great track. And Muzy's disappeared somewhere. Where's he gone? Oh, wait, come back, fella. That echo cancellation. Oh, he's back. Wondered where he'd got to. How are we doing? You okay? Can you hear us, Muzy? I'm still getting a second echo from somebody's speaker or something. Not sure. And let's welcome Mr. Alex Wilson in the house. So great to have you here with us. Absolutely amazing.
Hello there.
Thank you very much for dedicating your time to talk to us about your musical journey. And it's an absolute pleasure. Welcome, welcome to Latin Live Lounge. Muzy.
Wow. I had a bit of technical issues. I got chucked out. I don't know if you noticed me leaving it up all of a sudden. So I hope I haven't missed much. And Alex Wilson, my goodness, honestly. Is that your real name, Alex?
It is. I mean, it's a plain and simple type name, nothing special.
Awesome. I mean, what a name not to be forgotten. I'll tell you that now. So where are you based at the moment?
I'm in Zurich, in Switzerland.
Excellent. And what have you been up to? Have you been working on your music?
Yeah, always. Every day, every week, just working. I'm working on the new Nolita Golding single that's going to come out in the coming months. And on Friday, I have a show in London. My first time in London for 18 months. So I'm excited about that.
Oh, yes, show in London.
Yes, we'll be talking about that shortly. Yeah, there's a few things going on in London at the moment, so we'll be definitely talking about that. But let's bring Anja into the studio. We'll fire off the first question from Anja, because she sat there.
Hello.
Well, good evening, and I'm sure I can talk to you a little bit in German. Guten Abend.
Ja, guten
Schön, dass Sie
Abend.
da sind. Ich freue mich
Dank.
sehr, dass Sie bei uns sind.
Wir können duzen,
Und
gell?
gerade hatten Sie gesagt, you recently said or commented in one of your posts that you're on a little holiday to take a break. to get the cobwebs blown away.
Off. Yeah.
So I loved the pictures, but it didn't say where it was. So I'm just curious, where did you take your little break?
I performed on Friday night, and then instead of coming straight home, I just did a little, it was less than 24 hours, but it was just a stop in Wesen, which is in Walensee, which is one of these beautiful lakes in Switzerland. And I took this high-powered hike. It said 3 hours 10. I managed it in 2.5 hours.
Wow.
So it wasn't that relaxing, I have to say. It was just because where I was going was Quinton, and they have no road access. So the boats leave every hour. So I'm like, I will get the 5 p.m. boat. So I just steamed up. It was very steep and then very down. But as you saw from the photos, it's so beautiful. And it was probably the last hot day, you know. So I just took a 24-hour time out from a heavy week last week and a heavy week coming up.
And are your cobwebs blown away? And did you get still a little rest?
Completely got blown away, the cobwebs. None in sight.
Very good. Now, I'm really interested in your background, of course. And you are known, I think one of the interviewers once said that you are a bomb of a pianist.
Oh.
So, yes.
Very nice too.
A big compliment. I would like to know, how did you discover and when did you discover your love for the piano? And are you playing also another instrument, maybe?
Well, I grew up in a lot of different countries. My first year of life was in Africa and then 9 years in England. And then my father got a job at the United Nations and we moved to Vienna. And in Vienna, I was at the international school there and they had open, like, try it out days for all the instruments. I thought, well, I'll try guitar and I'll try piano. But it's the Vienna Conservatoires or Hochschules or really high classical. And I brought the guitar and played a few nice arpeggios and I played boogie woogie piano. And I could hear the auditioners kind of giggle behind me, like muffled giggles. And they went, I think you should do the guitar. So I did classical guitar for 6 years. Mm-hmm. Then I switched to piano, but not trained. I didn't have piano lessons, but my heart pulled me to the piano. Oh. And when I moved to Geneva for the last 2 years of my schooling, then it really, like, the love for jazz grew. So then I was a jazz pianist, and then I did a diploma in engineering, and I had 1 year in California. And in California, I was in the kind of Latino area, and this radio was blaring out this exotic music, and I'm like, what's that music? Just tinny radio. I was 20 at that point. And that's when I started to be aware of Poncho Sanchez and salsa, and then the rest kind of just followed on from there.
The rest is history.
Well, I don't know if it's history, but that's how I got here.
And in your family, did anybody play an instrument, was singing, maybe even dancing?
Well, this piano behind me, I don't know if you can see it very well.
Yes.
This one here is my father's grand piano. And he bought it when he was a student in the 1960s. Wow. And he played it. He's a passionate pianist in his free time. And so I grew up crawling around underneath that piano, bumping my head on the legs and things. So I heard a lot of piano. That's
amazing. That's amazing.
Absolutely brilliant.
Thank you very much. Any more
Muzy.
Questions from the DJs?
Yeah. I'm just putting Muzy there on the spot there.
Oh, I'm on the spot. Oh my god. Okay, Alex. There's so much to find out about you, and let's see how it goes. For the next couple of hours. One of the things that I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you got your degree in electronics. Is that right? From
That's
University
right,
of York.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, up north.
Brilliant. So you're close to us, Manchester, and
That's right. Yeah.
and sort of like Sheffield. We're closer,
Yeah.
but anyway. And then I believe that around that area, your professional career started as a pianist. Is that right, or is it or before that?
Well, I was a student and I was doing student gigs. I mean, I don't know whether that was professional or not, but we were playing in bars and stuff. And what I was invited to audition for the Guildhall School of Music in London. And they said, wow, we'd like to have you there. Now, after my degree. And I went down, but I didn't get it. I was rejected. And I thought, oh, how am I going to deal with this kind of, knock back? I thought, I'll move down to London anyway and just see if I could give it a go, see if I could be a musician. So it was pretty tough, as you can imagine. I think my first gig paid £10 once a week. That was the only gig I had. And no travel expenses, London, you can imagine. Even then, 1994. And then I just kind of just crawled my way up the ladder.
Bless you. I mean, that am I also right? I'm going to pick up names that I did a bit of research on you as well. Pick up names like Courtney Pine and Jazz Jamaica, Sandra Cross.
Yeah.
And you had Adalberto Santiago, Jocelyn Brown, Wynton Marsalis, Hugh Masakela, Ernest Ranglin, and people like that. You have actually performing and recording with these people. And then you also won a Rising Star Award at 2001 BBC Jazz Awards. So tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, when I was young. That was exactly 20 years ago, no? In November, I'm 50. So I must have been 30 when I won that. I had a record deal with Candid Records. And I was never looking for a record deal, but when I was playing with Gary Crosby, who's a renowned jazz musician, and I was in his band, and this gentleman walked up to me, Alan Bates, and said, please come in to the office to discuss doing an album. And he was investing a lot in jazz and kind of world music and the black music scene in London. He was an elderly gentleman now, and he's still around, and he's in his mid-90s. Amazing gentleman. And before I know it, I had a 3-album record deal. And the second album we recorded in Cuba. We went to Cuba to record Anglo Cubano. And so that's how I was just on the scene as a pianist for hire. So all these people that you mentioned, I would just get freelance jobs from them.
That is amazing.
I remember Muzy just mentioned Hugh Masakela. I had the privilege of meeting him when he performed in Liverpool. Back in the days, if you remember when I did the radio and he came over and we went to his concert. The concert was just absolutely mind-blowing. And afterwards we had the interview with him, and some of the stories he told us was just absolutely amazing. But I never knew until now, right this moment, that you actually did some stuff with Hugh Masakela.
Yeah,
so impressed.
It was with Jazz Jamaica big band, and he was the guest, and we went to North Sea Jazz Festival, and we played quite a few places. It was lovely. Yeah, I mean, he's sadly departed now, but he's part of that Soweto Township jazz movement.
Yes.
And it's very important. That's just influenced the whole world. I mean, if you listen to Lion King, if you listen to any of that, that comes from the Soweto sound.
Yes, absolutely. So just going back to Alex Wilson, when did you decide that you wanted to focus on the salsa genre as part of your music program, and why did you choose to go on the Latin route?
Well, I moved down to London in the mid-90s, and it was a golden time for Latin live music, really. And we had the Bass Clef Club in Hoxton. And I think one night would be African, maybe the Friday night was African, and the Saturday night was salsa. And they'd put 14-piece bands on. So you could go down and pay a modest fee and see, these big African bands and these big salsa bands like Roberto Pla, La Clave, and all these London bands. And so I obviously was not on the scene, but I just fell in love with the music. And then the way I got in was by being an arranger, because these big bands wanted to play well-known salsa tunes, but they needed their music writing out for them. You know, the trumpet parts, the piano parts, the bass parts, and there was no computer system then those days. So I got the manuscript paper, I got the special pens and the different thicknesses of pens and everything, and wrote out the score, listened to the same bit over and over again, wrote it out, and then would deliver these handwritten music sheets to the bands, and they really appreciated it. And then gradually I know I'd started to be booked as a pianist as well. But that the music, I mean, just like probably many of the dancers and the DJs that are listening to this show, the music and the culture just pulled me in, and I fell in love with it, and it's I still am in love with it.
Excellent. Anja.
Well, as DJ Muzo mentioned, a whole long list of famous people you worked with. Who influenced you the most, would you say? Once you said Larry Harlow, who died recently,
Yes.
was formative in your
Yes.
career. But is there anybody else who was really influential for you?
I would say 3 other pianists. Papo Luca from Sonora Ponceña, and he developed a piano playing style that kind of defined the modern tumbao, the modern piano playing style, and also an amazing arranger as well for his Sonora. Eddie Palmieri, and Charlie Palmieri, the 2 brothers, and again they just kind of formative, really defining a certain salsadora style and Latin jazz style. And then more modern, Sergio George, who you know, a lot of people won't have heard of, but when you listen to Victor Manuel, when you listen to La India, when you listen to Mark Anthony, Yaharia Plasencia, he's behind all of those. So he really, the way he, and again, it's back in the 90s and the 2000s, the way he took kind of modern gospel pop and mixed it with salsa very intelligently. And also before timba was really popular, you know, timba was quite specialist in the 90s. And he took a little bit of timba and put it in his arrangements and made this salsa moderna sound. So those pianists would be the ones, pianist arranger producers would be the ones that influenced me a lot.
Brilliant. And is there anybody with whom you would like to collaborate in the future? Have you anybody in particular you sort of admire right now and haven't worked yet?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I mean, Tony Sukar played on a single I produced for Nolita Golding, and we did a version of Talking to an Angel by Eurythmics, and we did a salsa moderna version of that 3 or 4 years ago, and he features on timbales. Then he asked me to play just after he won his Grammy. He asked me to play, and there was a schedule conflict, and I couldn't. You know, it's just like one of these big regrets of one's life, you know. Like Sly and Robbie, the reggae legends. They asked me to do a tour, and I was playing with Rodrigo and Gabriela, and I couldn't play with Sly and Robbie, and it's just like, So, and then COVID killed everything. So one day I would like to work with Tony. I hope we can, you know, reignite that relationship, I would say. I mean, he is a trailblazer in modern salsa now, I have to say. I really admire what he does.
Interesting wish list.
And then, I mean, I've been a long time admirer of Sting. And I've got 9 albums under my own name. And I've always here and there done a Sting cover. And Sting was the reason I became a pianist, because when we were in Vienna, my father invited me brought me along to a Sting concert, and Kenny Kirkland, who's an amazing jazz pianist, sadly departed, played a solo piano section where everybody leaves the stage and Kenny Kirkland just plays solo piano. And I was 17 or 15 or 16, and it was that moment, I want to do that. That's amazing. That's what I want to do. And it's interesting because Rodrigo and Gabriela, these two guitarists from Mexico, they asked me to arrange their album. We recorded an album in Cuba. We toured all over the world. And they gave me exactly the same opportunity. And we played in Hollywood Bowl, Radio City in New York. We played Sydney Opera House, all these places. And on every show, they said, Alex, we're going to leave the stage. You have 3, 4, 5 minutes to play whatever you want. And it's a nice kind of completion of the circle, you know. Yes. And I think the best artists are the most generous ones. With, you know, nobody would come... You know, if I said I'm going to play a solo piano concert in Sydney Opera House, you would get a few people, but because they are who they are, they sell out all these places, and then they give you that spotlight. It's incredibly generous. And Sting was the same with Kenny Kirkland. So Sting has inspired me a lot.
Wow,
amazing,
brilliant!
Amazing. One of the ladies, Anne Race, is asking, when will you be playing in London? She'd love to see you. So let's talk about this event that we mentioned in the conversation earlier. Yes. Let's talk about this gig that you're having in London.
Yes.
All yours.
Well, it's in a jazz club, the Pizza Express Live, which I like to describe. It's in Soho. I like to describe it as a small Ronnie Scott's. So it's that same. You sit down. You know, it's like dimly lit. You've got your table, your meal, and the musicians are right close up to you on the stage. And this is part of a festival I created 6 years ago called the London Latin Jazz Fest. And I curated it for a good 3 or 4 years. And then I felt it was time to step back. And I passed it on to a pianist I very much admire called Eliane Correa. Amazing. She's a bomb of a pianist. I mean, she's just a hurricane. She's amazing. You know, she arranges, she plays, she produces. She's anybody who doesn't know Eliane Correa, you know, I advise to check out. But she's so successful. She's got the tour with Hans Zimmer in the movie kind of arena tour. She's doing something with Hans Zimmer. So she can't do the festival. So next week I will fly to England and I'll be the presenter of the festival. And I will also play a show. So if this lady wants to come on the 24th of September, which is next Friday, I play 2 shows. She could come to the 7 p.m. one or the 10 p.m. one. And it will be a chance to sit down and get close up to the music. I've got Edwin Sanz, a fantastic Venezuelan percussionist who also plays in Mercado Negro. So we've just heard him play congas on that last track. Dimitris Christopoulos. And I've got 2 special guests, a young Nicaraguan guitarist who is on fire. You know, he's amazing. Omar Rios Melendez, and also the very good British Indian singer, Unnati Dasgupta. And we've done a lot of Sufi Latin jazz tracks, and she's going to come in and we're going to do an Indo-Latin fusion as well as a special guest.
Sounds amazing. Muzo.
Wow, that sounds really great. Especially when you mention about the Sufi influence jazz. My goodness, I'm very interesting because some time ago, I'm originally from Turkey, Alex. But I've been living in the UK for a long, long time, and the one of the things that always kind of makes me fascinated about how the fusion of works, the music works. You know, some of the Turkish musicians actually try to bring from Sufi to flamenco, for example, and things like that.
Yeah.
Are you you know, have you got any sort of interesting projects as well? You know, like having a bit of a fusion music like that, or
well, I've just constantly been searching all my career to fuse music. I mean, one project I did in the past was Mali Latino, which was a music from Mangde, the griots from Mali in West Africa, with Latin music, and that had the African kora with the Afro-Cuban percussion, and that was a very fulfilling project. I'm still very proud of that. Moving forward, I mean, I'm always open. I've just done a track with a Lebanese singer.
Wow.
And it's a Lebanese kind of jazz pianistic fusion, and we've entered it for a competition, music competition with the Beyond Music Foundation. So let's see if it wins or not. But anyway, we've done it. And there's always stuff going on. I mean, one thing I'd like to do is investigate flamenco piano, because what I've discovered is that there is a lot of, there are some very good flamenco pianists.
Oh, wow.
That's very interesting. I mean, I don't know if can you hear this? Can you hear that?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
And you know the pianists, they kind of emulate the. You know, it's that sound.
Wow.
And they make the piano sound like it's been strummed. You know, that sound. And I'm going to play one piece from Chopin on Friday, but I'm going to put some flamenco piano in it.
That sounds amazing.
Flamenco is very interesting. Yeah.
Could you play a sample for us, please?
Oh, what? Sorry?
Could you play just a little bit for us to give us a taster?
Yes, well, I mean, there's a
That
Chopin
would be
Prelude.
so great.
Chopin Prelude 20. It starts like this. You know, very grave, very serious. And we've got Edwin Sants, who puts a Afro-Venezuelan drumming on it.
My God.
So, I mean, he does like boom, tak, 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 boom, doom, tak, tak, boom, tak, 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 with this really, you know, folkloric drum. So then the groove is put on. So you doom, tak, 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 doom, doom, tak, doom, tak, tak. So suddenly there's a pulse. Tak, and that makes me play differently. So I do that, and then I play the melody once, and then I use his kind of just percussion thing, like auf Deutsch sagt man eine rote Faden.
Yeah.
The light motif through the whole thing is his percussion, and then I free up, so I go. So then, then I was I was at a piano the other day, and I was practicing, and then I was going to put some flamenco influence in, or just that sensibility there. And these sort of. I'm not a flamenco musician, but just to be inspired by that and just get a bit of the feeling of it, and then hopefully make it my own. So that's one of the things I'll be doing next Friday.
Wow, so impressive, so impressive. Can we get a bit of music, please, Muzu, from Alex?
Yeah.
Let's
yes,
kick some
I'm
music
ready.
And then let the people hear his music.
Brilliant. I'm ready. Great stuff. Alex, I'm going to play one of yours, of course. I was in between, actually, whether to play Inglaterra or Antonio, but I'm gonna play Antonio.
Okay, good.
Start with. Here we go.
Sound is distorting, Muzu.
Yeah, sounds a little bit disturbed here. I'm going to try one more time, and if it doesn't work, then I'll...
Then I'll have to play it on the piano myself.
Yeah. Can I suggest, I think, again, there's some technical issue here. Amos, can you just play that for us?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
And I'll come back. Yeah, let's have a quality sound.
Bear with me, let me just pull it up. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Alex Wilson with Antonio. Wow, what a fab track indeed. Absolutely amazing. We're going to be sharing that link shortly, which Alex has kindly shared for the event next week. That's going to be going in the chat room. Muzu's going to be sharing that.
Yeah, I did.
So brilliant, excellent. Some amazing feedback. Few shout outs to Mr. Bob Croucher in the house, Gerard O'Reilly in Ireland, Lina Almastica in Chicago, Vito Rodriguez, he's made a comment here as well. Thank you very much for that, Vito. Nice solo. You got that salsa swing. Congratulations.
Right.
Absolutely awesome.
Somebody's going to burn their dinner. Says somebody's going to burn their dinner. Seen that one?
Yes.
No, I missed it.
Caroline Marsh.
Yay! Here we go.
A shout out to Christine Wooten. Who else is it? Pamela Lyons and Race, we've mentioned before. Lena, as I said earlier on, and to Adam Farnell, was it? Adam Barwell, sorry, excuse me. And Pamela in down south as well. Thank you very much for tuning in. DJ Michael Gyapon's in the house. Hey, bro, welcome to the set. This guy is amazing DJ, absolutely amazing. And to the lady, one time, Donna Taylor in the house as well. And the lovely Susanna Farago, all the way here in Manchester. Muzu.
Yeah, we've got people from tuning in from like Poland, Ireland, Gerard O'Reilly. We've got people also listening to us, viewing us from United States, of course, Germany. I think many other places in the UK. That's great. So just going back to Antonio, the song title Antonio.
Muzu, sorry. Can you just check echo cancellation, please? It's playing.
Yeah, mine is ticked. It's fine.
Tick to unticked.
I can hear it as well.
Okay. So
yeah,
somebody's got a speaker on. That's what it is.
Right.
Okay, no worries. Carry on. Fine.
Yeah, Alex. What about the? Tell us about the song Antonio. Why Antonio?
Well, Antonio was a gentleman I knew. I still do know about. I'm not so much in touch with him, and a fantastic gentleman from Cali, and in Colombia, and he was the deputy head of the National Audit Commission of Colombia, which, can you imagine, that's a heavy duty job in Colombia. Yes. Yeah. And an intellectual and a man full of creativity, but also absolutely loved salsa. And over a period of 5 years, he sent me, in the CD days, he sent me loads and loads of CDs. You must listen to this. You must listen to that one. I mean, too many, really. I couldn't really kind of ingest all of them, but he sent me this huge CD collection. I must be on some watch list of the services, because, you know, receiving packages every month from Colombia, wow. You know, but they were only CDs. Is perfectly innocent. And I dedicated the sort of Cali salsa. It was that tune I wrote with the inspiration of Cali salsa, the way they dance, you know, you know, that you know, that sort of style. Yeah. And I dedicated the song to him.
Oh, that's lovely.
Amazing. What a story.
You know, it's gonna be different now when I play Antonio for the dancers out there. I know the story behind it, so thank you for that. Yeah. Just one other question, if I may. I want to go back to your. I know you're a very, very humble person, and you know, altogether as a musician, as a person as well. But I would like to go back to your award winning, and one of the. So we talked about the BBC Jazz Awards back in 20 years ago, and the other one. You had another sort of LUKAS, is that right? You had
the LUKAS Award.
you even forgot that.
It's on my stairwell up there. Yeah, I was very honoured. The London, it's like a London Latin Music Awards, and they picked me for being a jazz artist, because obviously for the salsa people, I lean towards the jazz side. You heard that last track; it's full of piano solos and percussion solos and things like that. So it's very much the instrumental playing side of salsa I lean towards. So I got voted jazz artist of the year or something for Europe in their category. I was very pleased. Yeah.
Wow. Excellent. That's absolutely brilliant. Can I try to play one more song and then...
Try ahead.
Go for it.
Yeah. Okay. This time, I think I'm going to not cancel the echo cancellation, because last time, sometimes the StreamYard plays with that one. So, but I'm going to bring the Inglaterra this time, Alex.
Yes.
Inglaterra tiene ya su guaguancó.
Respect, man.
Inglaterra tiene ya su guaguancó. En la torre del reloj, ya todo el mundo lo canta, la corona lo aprobó. En la torre del reloj, ya todo el mundo lo canta, la corona lo aprobó.
Guaguancó.
Inglaterra tiene ya su guaguancó. Inglaterra tiene ya su guaguancó. Con o sin corbata, con o sin bastón, ya todo el mundo lo baila en la sombra bajo el sol. Con o sin corbata, con o sin bastón, ya todo el mundo lo baila en la sombra bajo el sol. Desde el norte hasta el sur, río arriba, río abajo. Desde el norte hasta el sur, río arriba, río abajo. ya todo el mundo lo baila en la sombra bajo el sol, con o sin corbata, con o sin bastón, ya todo el mundo lo baila en la sombra bajo el sol. Ya todo el mundo lo baila en la sombra bajo el sol.
Ay, 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 ay.
En la sombra bajo el sol.
One and only Alex Wilson's in the house.
Ya todo el mundo lo baila en la sombra bajo el sol. A pleno sol bailando, a pleno sol cantando, a todo el mundo lo baila en la sombra bajo el sol. Anda, camina, camina para Inglaterra, anda, camina, que se ha vuelto salsera. Ya todo el mundo lo baila en la sombra bajo el sol. Mírala, mírala, mírala. Qué mona tan buena. Bonita, bonita. Que se sepa que Inglaterra ya tiene su guaguancó.
Ya tiene su bawanko, my goodness.
Camina. Reparte, Mary, reparte.
Join us dancing, everybody. Come on, let's do this.
Para todos hay.
My goodness.
Oye, los ingleses también le pegan al tambor. ¿Quién dijo que no? Que se sepa que Inglaterra ya tiene su guaguancó. Ya lo cantan los banqueros, también los politiqueros. Te digo que yo. Que se sepa que Inglaterra nunca falta, ya tiene su guaguancó. Y una bichuelita bien quizá, y después que me pongan salsa.
Goosebumps, Alex.
La lluvia no me importa, no me importa la nieve. Ni religión, ni raza, ni color. Lo bailan los combatudos y hasta los lavaplatos como yo. ¿Y quién dijo miedo? Oye, qué frío. Está nevando. Pero me voy a bregar. Voy a bailar, ¿no? A guarachar con Alex.
My goodness gracious. Who's the singer, Alex?
Well, it's really interesting because Alfonso de Jesus is his name. It's interesting because you hear your music and you remember what you were doing then. I mean, I recorded that 10 years ago or something, or longer. Alfonso de Jesus is an amazing singer. He still lives in London and performs. Colombian singer. He was in Joe Arroyo's band, I think, as well.
Wow.
And I mean, the sense of humor he's got. I mean, the whole message of that is everybody in England's dancing salsa, from the Queen to the politicians to the bankers. And then he says at the end, hasta las lavaplatos como yo, down to the plate washers like me. That was his final comment as the music played out, you know. He's got such a sense of humor, such character, you know. And that's what's also seductive about the culture. You know, it's not just the fantastic music, it's the joy, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Your album, Anglo Cubano, is possibly one of the most popular ones, I would say, in terms of how many. Maybe I'm wrong, but this is my interpretation of it. Tell us your musical journey in Cuba. When you went there, you started producing the album. How many tracks did you write there, or was it just one track, or did you produce the whole album there?
Well, that particular. I mean, I've been to Cuba 6 times now over the last 15 years. Sometimes for live shows, sometimes for recordings. I've done 3 albums there for various projects and 1 contemporary dance project for a theatre that premiered in Hull. No, Bolton, actually.
Bolton, yes, I remember that.
Premiered in Bolton, near you.
Yes.
But that particular one was my first trip. Again, it's a long time ago, 1999. I was 27 or 28. And it was a baptism of fire for me. I didn't speak much Spanish. We had to take all the money over because bank transfers to this day are impossible to Cuba. So we had to take the money for the studio and the musician, everything rolled up in $50 bills in our pockets and in kind of money belts, you know, and hoped we wouldn't be noticed by the authorities. And also, it was the pre-digital age, so we had to carry the 2-inch tapes. So, for people who don't know, they're big reels, and each, it's about that size, and each one only about 14 minutes or 12 minutes of music you could record. It was a multi-track. So I had to take about 4 or 5 of those across. 3 musicians came across. So the handwritten charts, because again, pre-digital, so I'd handwritten all the music out, the tapes under our arms, the thousands of dollars strapped to our waists. And we recorded in Egrem in the same studio that the Buena Vista Social Club recorded, and it was just shortly after that success of the Buena Vista Social Club. So it was a very interesting journey, and we had Maito Rivera from Los Van Van sing lead vocal on 1 track. We had Clave Wawanko, an amazing rumba group, recording Englishman in New York, Sting song. Yeah, I mean, too much to, you know, in a short time to recount, but extreme highs and extreme lows, which really summarizes the existence of a musician, I would say.
Amazing. And let's get a few more words from Anja. She's sat there. I'm sure she's got plenty of questions.
Well, I only wanted to say, Muzu, you need to promise me to use Inglaterra in our classes, okay?
Of course. Consider it done, Anja. Thank you.
Alex Wilson, I was just wondering, are you a dancer by any chance yourself?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, obviously, COVID has just kept us all at home. But I before that, I would always like to have a dance like before or after the show. Particularly when I was living in London and it was smaller stages and you would just step off the stage and, you know, into the dance floor. And I mean, I danced.
Salsa or
salsa, yeah. Yeah, salsa would be the only word. I mean, you know, the experts who would go, your community that would go salsa dancing every night would probably say, I don't dance.
Yes.
But I dance and I enjoy it. And what I do, I dance around this studio here when I try out a new track. Also deciding on the tempo and the feeling and everything. And I sort of dance around on my own to see how it is to produce my own music, you know. And I don't know if you
very
can,
good. Hands on, feet on.
Can you hear this?
Yes, just about.
Yes.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Well, that's the percussion from my next single that I'm releasing.
So let's talk about your next single. Let's talk about that and have a bit of an overview on that. That'd be really great, guys. So this is Alex Wilson on Latin Live Lounge, and we're talking about his next single that's coming out, and it's happening all here in this very evening, Sunday evening, with myself, Muzu, and Anja. So, Alex, let us have the info. So excited.
When is it coming out?
This is an amazing artist I produce, and we have released 2 singles already. Her name is Nolita Golding, and we recorded 1 video in Cuba because I was there for an album. We recorded the video there, and then we released 1 video we performed on a beach in Brighton, and it was the Eurythmics cover, You're Talking to an Angel in salsa. This next track is an original piece, and I have up here on the Pro Tools, and I'm just reviewing everything because it's about to be mixed, and it's a track called Just Fantasy. It was used in the BBC documentary that was out on Friday. We have a new viewer, a new participant.
This is Nisha. She's in Mumbai, would you believe?
Fantastic.
In India. So I think she's got some questions, but she's also a presenter on our programs. So she was a bit busy earlier on, so
wonderful.
She's joining us. So sorry, you were saying, and then we'll pick up with Nisha next.
So I've just got it here. This is Edwin Sants playing all the percussion. The tempo is really important. You just imagine. I mean, that's higher end of tempo, but not too fast. I hope, And I asked him to play with that emphasis on to get that. And then we had then I put my piano on. I put keyboards on it because I like there. And the bass player we had is Ruben Rodriguez, who plays on all the Mark Anthony Landia stuff. Can hear that. Some great horn players. So you can hear it's quite a high energy one. But here, that's the soul side of my music that I put. And, this is the voice of Nolita Golding here, which is... amazing voice. So she straddles the gospel soul with the salsa. Later she does the kind of the more Latin stuff. She just soars, But then she'll also sing. Kind of almost Michael Jackson-y.
Oh, yes.
So that's what we got coming up.
Amazing. Thank you for the preview. And a good evening to Nisha. What time is it in Mumbai?
It's, I think, almost 11 now.
Okay. Wow, late. Alex, Nisha is a promoter, salsa promoter, DJ, dancer in Mumbai. And she's part of all our programming, what we do here. Wonderful. So there's a big community in India. And you did that Bhangra version of Okuri. So we'll be playing that some point later on, if you remember, one of your fusion tracks. Nisha, how are you? Fire away. It's all yours.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good evening. How are you all? Nice to see everyone here. It's so nice to have all friends. A lot of people in the house today, I think. I'm very excited. I'm very happy because after 6 months I have danced today. I just got back from my social. And I think my face, I'm sure it's gleaming now with all the happiness. So I have this question for Alex about Bhangra. Where did the Bhangra come from?
Well, when I was living in London, I know a musician called Kuljit Bamra, and he still is at the center of the British Indian music scene there. And we went to Southall with 2 Latin musicians, and then him on the tabla. And I said, look, let's play together. And it's quite tricky because Bhangra is swingy. Dunga taka tuka dunga dunga taka tuka dunga dunga taka, and salsa is poka taka tuka tuka potaka taka. It's straight, but there's such good musicians. The Indian musician called it Bhangra. He just straightened his playing out a bit. So bunga taka tuka dunga dunga rather than dunga taka tuka dunga dung. And then there's a certain type of salsa dura. Like El 23, Fuego El 23, which is that bong back bonga ta conga ta conga, which is a bit triplety. It's a bit swingy. So I said, play in that era and make your playing a little bit more swingy. So the conga tumba will normally be bokataka tukatundingo kata and a bokapaka tukapimbingo kataka tuka, and they kind of magically met in the middle. And then I had the percussion track, and then I built over that. Shahid Abbas Khan was the young singer. I mean, he sounds like an old man when he sings, a rich, mature voice. But he was only about 24 when he recorded that. And then, again, it's all about history and references. And I put the trombones like a Ruben Blades or a Oscar de Leon type of trombones on there, because I thought that would give the warmth that it needed, rather than squealing trumpets, and somehow it fit the style. So that's how it sort of came together.
That's amazing. But so how many tracks did you make in? I think did you just make one, or you made more? Or do you plan to make more? Because
that was a one-off track that we did. There was another project called Bhangra Latina that I contributed to, but that was a bit more contemporary composition, classical. It's also of interest. You can look it up. I'm not sure what happened to that album. I was only a contributor. But that one track was just a one-off. And I'd love to do more. I played with Shubha Mukhtal, the classical Indian singer, and her husband, who plays tabla. And we did a tour, and I was just enchanted by the music. And before you arrived, I said in London next Friday I'm going to be playing with my Latin jazz trio, and Unnati Dasgupta, who's a British Asian singer, a semi-classical Indian singer. She's going to be performing with us, but more the Sufi, a little bit more meditative stuff. So that's a sit-down listen concert, you know. But I'm entranced by the music of your country. It's amazing.
And I think that was years ago, because I was looking up, and the YouTube video that I saw of dancing was posted 12 years ago. So
yeah.
that was years ago.
Yeah. I mean, you want to do so much, but it's just about money. You know, if somebody threw a load of money at you, I'd do a Bhangra Latin album straight away. But it's just about money. And unfortunately, I have to say, people don't pay for music anymore. So it means that we simply cannot make as much music as we used to. You know, it's as simple as that, unfortunately.
It's a crying shame. Muzo.
Well, hello, Nisha. Welcome to the Latin Love Lounge Ritmo del Mundo. Good to see you here on our platform, and as always, and of course, likewise, our Anja as well, all the way from Germany, and Heather Mellon from Rotherham joined us as well. Hello, Heather, and anybody else? James Taylor. Hello, James. A few more people. I think Cara Clark. Yes, Cara Clark, all the way from United States. I'm going to play another song, but before that, Alex, the other things that I found out about you. Now, you were a special lecturer in the Department of Music, or you were at University of Nottingham.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit more about that.
Well, I used to live in Leicester, just down the road from Nottingham, and I started to teach piano to the undergraduates there. And the head of music at that point, or the head of the department, said, let's develop a relationship, and made me a special, like as an honorary title, like a special lecturer to create projects. Then I moved away. I moved to Switzerland, and I think there was a change in head of department, and it never progressed from there. But I had a nice relationship for a good few years with the University of Nottingham, and I still keep in touch with my students. One is a very successful film composer now, and it ends up being my orchestral advisor. When I write orchestral scores, I always send them to him, because he's an orchestral conductor and can really advise me. So the tables turned. It's great when you see your students, probably the same in dance, surpass your capabilities.
Oh wow! I'm gonna play one of yours. Sorry.
I'm so sorry. I do apologize, but that leads me on to the next question, and it just fits in. You were also teaching in a primary school, isn't that right?
Ah, yes. You guys
And
have
that
done
is
your research.
quite a different audience to teach to. So how did this come about, and which audience do you teach more or prefer teaching?
That was the hippest head teacher I've met in my life. And she saw me playing Glastonbury. And she said, and then she wrote afterwards, and at first I didn't really take her serious. She said, I want you to come into the school. I want you to show my students that being a musician is a career, or an artist is a valid career path. And this is an East Ham school with 1,000 students. I think it's the largest primary school in the country.
Whoa.
And, really mixed background, not wealthy families, families that have to work very hard for their money, 2 jobs, you'd have the older brother taking the younger sister to school and then going to school. That really tough inner city life. And she brought me in every 2 or 3 months to do a week's course, and she'd define what each week would be. So one week she'd say, I want Afghanistan music, Bangladesh, Colombian and Argentina.
Wow.
And then I'd be the coordinator, and I'd bring in experts, because in London you can find anyone.
Yeah.
Bring experts in to teach the songs and pieces of music from each tradition. And then at the end of the week, we would do a concert. And I did that for about 5 years, and then I handed it over to someone else. And as far as I know, it's still going. And those children got just a breadth of musical experience. I mean, their parents probably would not have enough money to send them to private classes, one-on-one classes. So they really, Courtney Pine came down, Omar Puente came down. I mean, even the music Kuljit Bamra, this initiator of the Bhangra Latino, just loads of people. We brought loads of people in. So I was kind of the coordinator of
Amazing. Sorry, Muzu, for butting in like that.
No need to apologize. I mean, take the opportunity while we've got the main man here in the house. So no, it's fine. It's a relevant question as well, then, Anja. Thank you very much for butting in. Alex, and just occurred to me actually. Before I play the next song, can you just tell me how a musician decides how long the piece of music is going to be? Because I'm looking at your and also had the experience to play in your songs in actually before pandemic on parties and things like that, and the response is amazing, by the way. And you know that,
because I don't get much of that feedback. I don't get much of that feedback. I'm in this room here just producing and then sending it out to the world. So very interesting to hear.
Trust me, honestly, it's like
Alex,
sorry.
Your music is like fluffy, like.
Yeah, as soon as absolutely, ain't nobody show me, things like that. Inglaterra, it's just dance floor fillers, and all of it. Don't get me wrong; it's just depending on the environment, the venue, the crowd, and so on and so forth. But you're big in the UK, So and I think internationally as well. We've got people from United States saying that loving this interview with you, and just
lovely.
telling us that is a great opportunity to see you. So going back to my
sorry, just a button, because I've traveled to 63 different countries in the world to play music, and sometimes I've been to Taiwan or Japan, and then when they put your music on, it's like, I think it was Hong Kong once. They put Antonio on, or Japan, or somewhere like that.
Yeah,
and that's the reward, really. That's very interesting. Yeah.
Oh man, honestly, So going back to the original question. So how do you decide on the length of the song? Because I mean, the next one I'm going to play is called Rumba, and it's about just over 2 minutes. But I know that other songs that you do like 5 minutes and just nearer to 6 minutes, things like that. So is there a rule, or is it what is governed by?
Well, there's a couple of considerations, and as I've said, I have danced on the salsa floor with people, and I know after about 4 or 5 minutes, unless it's a special, experience, it's enough. You start, stuck to. Okay, yeah, I'm stuck to this person. I don't know her that well, and I run out of moves. So you don't do a song more than 5 minutes. Just embarrassing. So that's number one consideration. So the salsa tracks are always between 3 and 5 minutes.
Me and Muzy wouldn't at least 10 minutes per track.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I played in my early days. I played with other bands, and you'd be in a salsa situation, but it would be a Latin jazz band. And Latin jazz and salsa are two very different genres. Latin jazz is all about the development of the instrumental solo and the artistic expression. And they can last up to 15 minutes. And it can be in 6/8. It can be very fast. It can be very slow. Although it's exciting, it's not made for dance. And then salsa is there's a formula you need to stick to. Now, within that formula, there's a great deal of scope, but there are parameters you need to stick to. So if I'm doing salsa, 3 to 5 minutes. Now, it's interesting you picked the track Rumba, because in my other life, my parallel life, I write music for television. And in television, it's all about underscore and background and creating an atmosphere. And the format is between 1 minute 30 and 2 minute 30. And they don't want more than that. It's in the contract. You have to deliver that amount. And I think Rumba, I mean, there's quite a few. I'll have to hear it. I'm not sure which one you're going to play, but that maybe is the one I went to Cuba and recorded for EMI. And they said, go to Cuba and come back with 10 tracks, kind of authentically produced. So you've picked one of my television music tracks.
There you are.
Wow. Let's go.
Oh, it's that one.
That's the one. It's more like more on the ballroom.
That's my ballroom album.
Yeah.
Rumba with an H.
Ballroom with an H.
Rumba with an H.
Rumba with an H. Rumba with an H.
Nisha, one for you.
Swaying nicely there, Alex.
Yeah.
I love the instruments.
Yeah.
This particular one, I got it from a compilation on the Strictly Ballroom.
Well, good.
And your name is there. You're everywhere, aren't you, Alex? I mean, you go everywhere. You do everything, don't you? That's amazing, man. Honestly.
I mean, thank you. I mean, that's interesting. That rumba with an H is the ballroom rumba, which is not rumba at all.
No.
And in the 20s and 30s, I think I have to look up. A lady went over, fell in love with Cuban music, decided to bring it back into the history of ballroom, and that's actually closer to son, Cuban son. But now the ballroom dancers are so structured and fixed they call it rumba, but RHUMBA. And so West One Music, which was is a production company in London, they said, do a ballroom album. That album, I've got disco, I've got rock and roll, I've got rumba, I've got cha-cha-cha, but cha-cha-cha, ballroom cha-cha-cha. I think I did a Santana type thing. That was a fun album to do.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. Thank you for your contribution to the whole world of music. You're an amazing musician, honestly. Amazing.
Alex, we've got a few DJs in the room and they'll all be wondering the big question. How many of these albums have you produced that are available on vinyl?
Oh, I don't know.
Or available on vinyl from you or from elsewhere to buy?
The answer is I got no idea.
Wow.
That's the honest answer. Maybe 0, maybe 30. I don't know. I mean, there's not that many because after my record deal, the first 3 albums, then it was down to me to produce my own albums. Each album costs about £20,000. And so a vinyl release is further investment. And then Spotify and streaming came along and the income disappeared. So I kind of just stopped producing albums because of that. And I produce individual tracks when I can afford it. And I produce music for other people and do projects. But the album thing is unfortunately quite difficult for salsa artists, I have to say.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. So now, what is Alex Wilson bringing us in the future? Any more albums? Any more salsa tracks? Any more mixed fusion?
Yeah,
I know you talked about that track earlier on, but besides that.
Yes, I've got that forthcoming single, and as I said, it's a big financial investment just to do one track now, because you don't get any money back, so it's just the pure glory of it. I'm just about to start developing an app, and I can't say too much because it's in very, very early stages, but it's aimed at the salsa dancers, beginner salsa dancers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm going to team up with a university department for artificial intelligence. And I'm going to develop an app for beginner salsa dancers. So when it's further along the line, I'll let you guys know and I'll come back and talk about it.
Brilliant. So talking about beginners, you released a timing CD.
Yes.
One of the things, there are so many artists in the salsa world, but there's only a handful of artists who have actually taken the dedication and the commitment towards the dancers to produce an album like this. What was your drive behind that, and why did you choose to produce a salsa timing album? It's brilliant, by the way, guys. If you're a beginner and you want to learn how to dance and you understand timing, music in relation to body in relation to music, the tempo, and all the different instruments and everything, this is a must-have album. So tell us a little bit more about that, Alex. Because personally, I use it all the time. It's a great support for a classroom for me, especially for the newbies who come in and they're like panicking and they're coming with their 2 left feet.
Yeah.
And when you break it down to them, eventually they grip the whole idea. And I encourage them, if you want a good CD, get this CD, get Alex Wilson timing CD, and so on. Because this is one of the things that we do as part of our class routine. What was the drive behind that? I know you dance, but what was the drive behind it?
Yeah, I wrote a book with the salsa dance teacher Lee Knights in London, who runs the London salsa scene. And the book was called Find the Rhythm. And it was a book that broke down salsa rhythms for the dancer and gave historical context and also musical context. And in the back of it was a CD. And the CD breaks down all the instruments one by one and explains, here's the congas, here's the horns and stuff. And then the first track on that CD was, I think, the track that you used, Salsa Console Timing Workout.
Yes.
And it was to accompany the book, really, that track. I didn't expect it to be used as much as it did, but apparently, I get texts that say your voice is booming out in the, my local salsa club. 'Cause it's me going 1, 2, 3. This booms out the system, and it's been used quite a lot, which is
a lot.
Just fantastic. Yeah, somebody's just mentioned it. Jennifer Ford, she just commented it. That's fantastic. I mean, I'm so pleased that it's used. And this app will be a teaching aid. That's the aim of this new app that I'm developing. So it's a continuation of that.
Absolutely awesome. So people, guys, if you want to buy this book, I think you'll have to check it out on Amazon or something to get Alex's. Is it available?
I will.
I don't think you can. I've got, in the next room here, I've got a load of copies, but it's not distributed anymore. So,
okay.
So people just can DM me if they want it. That's the best thing.
Okay, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I think I can recite the whole CD. Jennifer is an amazing dancer. She's in the States. And thank you for your comment there.
Great.
There you are.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you.
Absolutely brilliant. So, which leads to, whose turn is it now? Is it Nisha? Come on, fire away.
So
then I'll play some music.
I think I'll ask this question and I'll listen to a song and I'll leave because I'm at my sister's house. I've come back straight from a social and I got to go out and have a drink with them. So
okay, so I'll play this song. Okay.
No, I would like to ask the question before.
Okay, go for it. Go for it.
So does this all? I mean, do you really do you dance a lot? And how did this idea about creating a CD come upon? Or also you've been teaching, so does it? All these, being a teacher, being a musician, making music. I mean, there's you are doing everything related to salsa. So, do you also dance a lot?
I mean, obviously during COVID, I haven't. I do. I used to when we do the salsa show. I would step out before or afterwards and have a kind of social dance. I don't have the time, and I wanted to. Before COVID, I almost signed up for regular classes, weekly classes. Thought I'm going to get back into it, and then COVID happened, and the musicians and the dance teachers was like, okay, what we're going to do? So fight for survival. So anything ancillary has kind of dropped off. I love the dance. I dance in an amateurish way. I think I have a feeling for the dance, which helps me inputs into my music to make sure that what I'm writing, when I'm writing for salsa, it's danceable. I would hope that. Even if it's soul-y and gospel-y and everything, I always try and put some salsa dura underneath to keep people moving. So I'm not a regular dancer. I'm not don't go out dancing regularly. I don't think anybody can. Well, only now can start again. But I love it. Yeah.
And you do. And are you still making? Music where because I would love to listen to the cha-cha track of yours because I love dancing. I dance cha-cha,
yes,
the ballroom and the rumba
yes,
as well.
Yes.
I dance socially, so I would
Yes.
love to listen to that music as well. And I will continue following you. I'm sure. I think most of the people who are I would advise everyone to continue following you because I'm sure that you are going to be full of surprises in times to come.
Likely, yeah.
Yeah, because you're doing so much. So I'm sure, and I'm sure that there may be a stage where you'd want to actually you could start an academy, everything related to salsa, or music.
Yeah, I mean, I fell in love with it in my early 20s, and it's with me for life. Probably like all of you here. It's absolutely. The challenge is how do you integrate it into your life and still be able to remain viable. And I think every musician, that challenge is presented to every musician. It's very demanding music. It requires practice. It's not something you can just roll up and play. I would never drink and play, for example. You have to have a very clear mind. It's a strong discipline to play dance. Just like dancing to the highest level, the same thing. But it's inherently uneconomic, one has to say. You see a good salsa band, there's 14 people on stage. I mean, how's that going to work? It's not going to work, you know. So there's the conundrum. There's the dilemma. How do you do what you love and still be able to pay the supermarket bills? And when you say I have a diverse career, it's like the portfolio career. I've done teaching in the past. I've backed away from that now, and I'm doing video production. So video production, music production, and performance, and those are my three strands. And then I've got this experimental app project as well. So yes, I hope I can keep surprising people pleasantly, I hasten to add.
So it's been such a pleasure being here with you on this platform. Thank you so much for answering my questions. Thank you so much, dearest DJ Amos, DJ Muzy, Anya. I'll be here for this beautiful song with you, and then I will quietly sneak out if I'm given the permission to do so. And so thank you, friends.
So yes, thank you, Nisha, for joining us after your social night out. It's great that you're having a good time there. Regards to everybody in India. And this is from Alex Wilson's album Inglaterra. And because we talked about fusion, this is Oak Curry.
ਕਦੇ ਲੁਕ ਲੁਕ ਸੀਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੀਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਾਉਂਦੀ ਕਦੇ ਅੱਖ ਨਾ ਮਿਲਾਂਦੀ ਕਦੇ ਤੱਕਦੀ ਹੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਕਦੇ ਲੁਕ ਲੁਕ ਸੀਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੀਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਾਉਂਦੀ ਉਹ ਕੁੜੀ ਬੜੋ ਤੁਰ ਪਾਉਂਦੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਨੇੜੇ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਨੇੜੇ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਜੀ ਸਦਕੇ
Go, Nisha.
ਉਹਦੀ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਦਾ ਵਰਸ ਤੁਸੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਏ ਦਿਲ ਤੱਕ ਤੱਕ ਕਰ ਕੁਝ ਗਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ ਉਹਦੀ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਦਾ ਵਰਸ ਤੁਸੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਏ ਦਿਲ ਤੱਕ ਤੱਕ ਕਰ ਕੁਝ ਗਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ ਜਿੱਤ ਮਾਲਿਆ ਤੇ ਨੱਚਦੀ ਕਮਾਲਿਆ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਡਿੱਗ ਡਿੱਗ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਉਹਦੀ ਵੇਖ ਵੇਖ ਚਾਲੇ ਓਏ ਸਾਡੇ ਦਿਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾਂਬਰ ਪਾਉਂਦੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਨੇੜੇ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਨੇੜੇ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਜੀ
Princess Nisha in the house.
ਜਦੋਂ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਨੇੜੇ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਉਹ ਕੁੜੀ ਬੜਾ ਤੁਰ ਪਾਉਂਦੀ
You're absolutely right there, Carla Clark. Beautiful track. Thanks, sweetheart, for the comment.
ਉਹ ਕੁੜੀ ਬੜਾ ਤੁਰ ਪਾਉਂਦੀ ਉਹ ਜਦੋਂ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਨੇੜੇ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਉਹਦੀ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਦਾ ਵਰਸ ਤੁਸੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਏ ਦਿਲ ਤੱਕ ਤੱਕ ਕਰ ਕੁਝ ਗਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ ਉਹਦੀ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਦਾ ਵਰਸ ਤੁਸੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਏ ਦਿਲ ਤੱਕ ਤੱਕ ਕਰ ਕੁਝ ਗਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ ਉਹ ਬੰਦ ਕਿਤੇ ਜਿੱਤ ਮਾਲੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਨੱਚਦੀ ਕਮਾਲ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਡਿੱਗ ਡਿੱਗ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਉਹਦੀ ਵੇਖ ਵੇਖ ਚਾਲ ਸਾਡੇ ਦਿਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾਂਬਰ ਪਾਉਂਦੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਨੇੜੇ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਨੇੜੇ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਜੀ ਸਦਕੇ
And that was Alex Wilson with Oak Curry. What a beautiful, beautiful track. Send the love out, party people. Absolutely amazing. Muzy.
Wow, wow, wow. What can I say? The energy is just huge in the room with Alex, with Nisha,
Oh, it's
with
great
DJ
dancing.
Amos, and Anya, of course. Kara says she was making pancakes for her niece, but now she was actually dancing. It's impossible not to dance. I completely agree with that, Kara.
And
Absolutely.
Pamela Lyon says, "I love you, Alex." So there we
Oh,
are.
declaration of love online.
There we are.
Fantastic, fantastic.
That's
Thanks.
declaration of love, but Bob Croucher gets proposals online.
Oh, well, that's not up on me. I'll go.
beat
I'll
Bob.
take the love. It's okay. I'm good with the love.
Oh,
Bob
brilliant.
gets wedding rings sent to him and flowers and all sorts.
Bob Croucher's got
brilliant,
something I
brilliant.
don't have.
Lovely dancing there by Nisha. Thank you for that, Nisha. Absolutely
Great.
brilliant. Sorry, Muzu.
Lovely.
Back to you.
No, not at all. It's all about having fun and sharing the good vibes on Latin Live Lounge Ritmo del Mundo. By the way, welcome. If you just joined us, this is our regular Sunday program with DJ Amos and myself, DJ Muzu, broadcasting from Sheffield, up north of England, in South Yorkshire, and Manchester as well. Mancunians in the house. That's great. And we've been running this for 67 weeks, believe it or not. And time flies, absolutely. And we've got a special guest musician, the one and only, I'd like to announce again, Alex Wilson in capital letters, absolutely. And we've been having fun with him, like having the interview, finding out about him, and he's been given his valuable time on here, and honored and privileged, Alex, once more. I've got a couple of questions for you. One is about going back to your that CD that you made for people learning salsa. What's your view on people actually learning based on counting? Like 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and what is because? Sorry,
I'm not over judgmental about all of this. Number one, because it's not my profession. I'm not a dance teacher. I know some people go, "Oh, you shouldn't learn with counting," and some people say, "Well, this is an explanation." As musicians, we count all the time, and then after we internalize it, we stop counting. But to internalize it, we even say, that's on the 2 and, that's on the 4 and, that push is on the 1. There's a verbal description, and then that is notated on sheets as well. So for musicians, counting is normal. But I've also, for example, led a project. I was a musical director of a project with a lot of amazing African musicians who do not write their music down and do not express their music in that way. And then half the band were African musicians and half were European horn players and African djembe players. And my job was to bring them together and play in a unified way. But there were literally two different languages, 2 different spoken languages and 2 different musical languages. So I'm not too hardcore about the whole thing. I mean, there are many ways to peel an orange as long as the result's the same at the end.
No, I mean, you're absolutely right. In a way that that is, you got to start from somewhere, isn't it? So I think the only observation or reservation I've got is that at some point, until you get the dancer as a dancer, because your advantage is you're a musician and a dancer, and for a dancer not understanding the music, the only thing that the access for anybody to learn salsa, let's say, is the counting, which is I think is fine. But the only reservation I've got with that is, and it's my view, and is the connection with the music. Actually, there's a blockage. If it gets to a too long habit of counting all the time, then that's, I think, that loses
I remember in my early days when I used to do salsa gigs all over England, and I would get a bit frustrated because the music in the teaching was so quiet, and then the teacher would be just counting in any pulse over the top. And I'm like, so why is the music there? The music is there just as a carpet, nothing to do with the rhythm. That's the extreme. Okay. Yeah. But I also think, a connection and a feeling with the music has to be done on a strong foundation. And if I equate it to playing, difficult music like jazz, bebop, or salsa montunos, or things that you need to put 10,000 hours in to really master. Well, there's no harm in going through that first stage where you break it down and analyze it, particularly if it's not from your culture. I wasn't born in Latin America. I wasn't born in America. So, you know, I'm not a native to African American jazz or Latin American music. So I think there's no harm in breaking it down, learning it. Obviously, you want to get beyond that and assimilate it and internalize it, and then you can express. But I don't think people should be maybe castigated for taking that first step to internalize it. But
Totally.
it does then have to go beyond that. I agree.
Totally. No, absolutely. And one little question that I've got also is the I think that you touch base slightly on the one of your projects. Is it called Mali Latino?
Yeah.
Mali Latino project, and you work with Ahmed Fofana and Madou, Sidiki, people like that. Could you tell us a little bit more on that as well?
Well, in a while back, I was asked to do a tour with I was just saying to Nisha, Shuba Mukhtar, the Indian classical vocalist, and Madou Sidiki Diabaté, and Kandia Kouyaté from Mali, and then Juliet Roberts, the British black jazz singer, and then a band.
No.
And I heard this kora playing, and the kora is the African harp. And it blew me away. I'm like, I've never heard anything like this. I mean, when you hear harp music, you know, it's often arpeggios like, you know, it's like sort of, you know, floaty. You know, that's harp. And they play the harp like this. They go. They play like that. You know, with this amazing tradition and attitude, and I'm like, where's this? And I found out more about it, and then I said, let's do a Latin project that unites Latin music with manding music from West Africa. And I went over to Mali, and there's an old YouTube documentary of me exploring the music of Mali, and then bringing two African musicians back to Oldborough in Suffolk, the Benjamin Britten Foundation, and we workshopped the music for a week, and then we went to Peter Gabriel's studio, Real World Studios, and we recorded this album called Mali Latino. And
Absolutely.
That's how that was born. And we played North Sea Jazz Festival. We did a good few gigs of that project. Yeah.
Alex, the last time we met was at the Afro-Cubism concert, if you remember. We spoke in the corridor. Yeah. That's the last time we met in London.
That's right, yes.
That
was a while back.
Yes, way back.
It was a good
Have
concert.
you worked with any of the guys from Afro-Cubism?
You have to remind me who was in that project.
It was the guy from Buena Vista Social Club.
Yeah.
Elias Ojedas.
Ochoa. I think...
Yeah.
Well, actually, interesting for Anja, we did a support tour for the Afro-Cuban All-Stars.
Okay.
When the Anglo-Cubano album came out, I had the same manager as the Afro-Cuban All-Stars, and he said, okay, let's put you on as a support tour. And we did 5 dates in Germany. And so we played alongside them. And actually, when they were starting off, it was quite low budget, and they needed to borrow an electric piano sometimes in London because there was no money, and I would bring my electric piano to them. And I mean, they were doing the typical musician thing, getting in a minibus 3-4 hours up to Manchester, playing no hotel, back down 3-4 hours and back to the hotel in London before they got famous. So I think I took lesson off Guillermo Rubalcaba, who was one of the pianists, sadly deceased from that project. So I'm kind of associated to them, but they're very much a self-contained thing. You know, the Buena Vista Social Club and the Afro-Cuban All-Stars, they had their amazing music that had becomes kind of latent and dormant for many years, and then suddenly exploded into the world. That was fantastic.
Yeah, the guys who were in the Afro-Cubism were Toumani. He played the kora.
Well, that's Madou Sidiki Diabaté's brother.
Okay.
Yes, and Toumani Diabaté asked me to play on his album, Boulevard de l'Indépendance, and I played one track on his album.
But they're all on these guys are on these guys are on World Circuit label, aren't they?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes.
We're based in North London.
Yes. On the
I played in Livingston Studios, was the recording studios they always used, and they needed some salsa piano on one of their tracks, Africa, I think it was called Africa Challenge, and Roberto Plau was on it, and I had never heard of Toumani before. It was really early on in my career, and I just found myself in the studio recording for him that time. So I could have I'm associated in the circle with them.
Just before we continue, thanks to Nisha for joining us this evening. I've just put a message there on the screen for everybody to read. I'm just saying. So just a few words from her before she goes and carries on dancing or drinking. I don't know which one she's doing.
I am going to play this track again now after I leave from here, and I'm going to dance with my folks at home.
We'll be thinking of you.
Thank you very much, Nisha, for joining us.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Nisha.
Take care. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Yeah, so going back to London, I had an interview lined up just to realize when I got there that they all either spoke French or Spanish, and none of us in our crew could speak.
No.
So it was the same thing that happened with another, the Haitian band, the Cuban Choir of Cuba.
Yeah.
But we managed to find an interpreter for that one at the last minute, so that turned out to be quite good.
Well, I could have interpreted for you if we'd met. I could have done it.
Yeah, but it was kind of like the concert had finished and they were signing away the albums and everything that they were selling at the time. So it was we kind of knocked it on the head at that point.
Yeah.
And if you look on my YouTube profile, there's a video of us introducing Afro-Cubism. So we did the video, the intro, and then we couldn't do the interview. But anyway, that's been a long time. So can you just tell everybody, just remind everybody about your event next week, and then I'll pass you back to Anja or Muzy, whoever wants to ask you some questions. So you got a gig next week. Guys, if you're in London or you fancy taking a trip, speak to Alex will tell you this information.
Yeah, it's a very intimate concert in a jazz club, a basement jazz club in London, in Soho. Pizza Express Live. You can go to my website, alexwilson.net, and find out about it. Or I think the link is also posted here. And we do 2 shows, one at 7 p.m. and one at 10 p.m. I advise you to come to the 10 p.m. one. It's kind of hotter. And we've got Edwin Sanz on percussion, Venezuelan, amazing percussionist. Worked a lot with him, with Rodrigo and Gabriela. He plays for Steve Winwood, very good player. Dimitris Christopoulos, also a fantastic bass player. 2 guests, one young guitarist from Nicaragua who's just on fire. He's just on fire. I mean, it's so inspiring to work with somebody in their mid-20s. He basically practices 5-6 hours a day. And that's all he lives for, practicing. And you can hear it in his playing. He's amazing. So he'll be playing with us. And Unnati Dasgupta, a British Asian singer, and you can see our videos on YouTube as well. Really good. And we'll be playing in Soho next Friday. And it'll be my first trip to England for 18 months. So come along and join us.
Wow, brilliant. Anja or Muzy, fire away.
Anja, go for it.
That's quite amazing what you are doing. You have so many projects, and in the past and in the future. I really admire that. Wow.
Thank you.
On one occasion, you actually were also a member, vielleicht, maybe, of a theater company, the Nitro, Nitro Beat.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about it? And there was also taking place a sensational musical, The Wedding Dance. Nothing to do with a movie, though.
Yeah.
How come? What was the idea about that special theater company?
Well, I didn't found the company, but it's called Nitro, and it's a black music theater company, or it was. I think it exists in some form now, and they wanted to do a salsa musical, but just having a look at the experience of dance and looking at the kind of dynamic between a European woman who falls in love with the dance and a Cuban man who comes over from Cuba after marrying her and becomes a music teacher, and how all those dynamics.
Yeah.
So they brought me in to write the music, and we actually went to Havana to set up the project, and we worked at the Institute of Contemporary Dance with 5 young dancers and 3 musicians. And we workshopped concepts for about 3 or 4 days. Really interesting. And then we came back, wrote the musical. And as I said before, it was launched in Bolton, in the theatre there. And then it ran a bit in London as well. And that was the project. Again, it's sort of thing I'd almost forgotten about that. I mean, there's just, it is intense.
Okay.
You know, it's just this one thing after another. I try and write it all down, you know, so I don't forget, you know, in my old age. But
that would be interesting if you write your own book. I mean, even now, wow, it would be full of pages, interesting reading.
Yes. Well, yes. I mean, I've been to 63 different countries all over the world. So there have been some stories, you know, stopped by Syrian soldiers in Lebanon at gunpoint in the van back from the gig and stuff, all sorts. Somebody asked about a video for this, and I'm just going to send you the trailer for it, Amos. Maybe you can share it, because somebody asked, is there a video of it?
Yeah, sure. I'll.
Yeah, I don't know if it still exists.
I'm just looking for your old email from the show in Bolton. I still have it.
Ah. Well, anyway, I've sent you the link. I'm just
2013.
Yeah. I mean, it's just
around that time.
Gosh, that's amazing.
We did the Salsa Veritas review. That we had that email. Duncan, my co-presenter, wrote a review for your. I don't know if you ever got it. 2nd of November 2011.
I'll look in the archives. But thank you, Duncan.
Still have it here. There we are. Absolutely brilliant. Have you shared the link? Yeah,
Yes.
You have. Okay, brilliant.
I can't post on the comments. There's lots of interesting comments, but I don't seem to be able to post. But I can send it to you.
Okay, I'll
Then
post
you can
on
share
that.
it.
Yeah, I'll do that now. Muzu, fire away. Go for it. Why don't you
Okay, I'm going to play a song if it's okay with you, Alex. Again, one of yours. Surprise. It's called Manhattan Salsa.
Oh, yeah. You pick out all the gems I'd forgotten about.
I love this one as well. So let's play and then we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Is that you?
Guilty as charged.
Oh, yes.
It's inspired by Ruben Rodriguez.
Wow.
Rúben González, the first pianist of Buena Vista Social.
Amazing. Wow, just over 2 minutes piece. It's brilliant. It's instrumental, nice. It really, yeah, it's a nice piece. Tell us about the song title, Manhattan Salsa. Why you call that Manhattan Salsa?
That was the first piece, one of the first pieces I've written for television. And when you write music for television, the title has to be very descriptive, because you get these TV music editors. They're under pressure, and the director says, "Give me 20 seconds of Cuba, quick now," and it's just a list, an Excel, and they go, "Oh no, yes, no, yes." And the first thing that will attract their attention is the title, to get them to then click, listen, and hopefully they like it, and then they use it, and then you get some royalties. Because the whole thing with television music is library music. You write it speculatively. You don't really get any money, and then you have to wait 5 years for the royalties to filter through. The more your music gets used, the more money you will get. So it's a speculative thing. So you can improve your chances by putting an attractive and descriptive title. So I just imagined, a kind of a Manhattan jazz club, and a Latin trio playing. So
yeah,
it's not that deep. It's not a deep title.
But it's relevant. So it's amazing. You got to be on the spots. To be able to. Somebody's like, you're doing the show for TV, and then they say, come up with this, and then boom. Yeah. That's a skill itself. Quick thinking, and in relation to the piece of music that you put together, etc.
Yeah, I mean, every time I play I produce. Every time I play or I produce some music or something, and I have to remind myself of this constantly, I imagine if I'm sitting at a concert, there are 10 pianists behind me waiting for my job, or if I get the chance to produce some music for television, there's a whole ton of people all over the world that would like my job and could even do it better, who knows. And so it just pushes you to stay on point.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Anya, you're going to say... Sorry, Anya, I thought you were going to say something.
No, I was just agreeing, and I can see the difficulty, definitely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, it's wonderful and terrible. I mean, it's wonderful because it pushes you to heights that you didn't think you could reach, and it's terrible because every day you have to... I mean, I will have to go soon because I try and wake up at 5:30 every morning to start work. And you have to reinvent yourself every day. That's what you have to do to survive.
Yeah. My goodness, honestly. Alex, I know we talked about your education and teaching in Nottingham University, etc. But there are lots of testimonials and lots of feedback, and one of the things one of them I picked up actually is quite interesting by the lady called Linda Callahan from BNEA Consultant Secondary Strategy. I'd like to read that, and I think that's that actually summarizes who you really are and beyond, of course. It says, Alex worked with me on a summer school aimed at supporting the transition from primary to secondary. Through his enormous talent and considerable experience, he brought together a group of young people who did not know each other and who were at particularly vulnerable point in their lives.
Yeah.
Over the 2 weeks, he nurtured them into a cohesive, driven musical troupe who were ready and able to perform in public. The fellow musicians and dancers that Alex was able to bring to the mix introduced a larger-than-life element to our time together. And the relationships that those young people formed still hold strong today. Thank you.
Isn't that nice? Wow.
Absolutely brilliant.
And so well written as well,
yeah.
So expressed.
Yeah.
Linda, she's a salsa dancer. Linda Callahan. She's in Leicester, or she was then, and she's a salsa dancer. Oh, how
Wow.
nice!
Definitely. I thought I'd share that with
We have
everybody.
a question here from Carlos Lopez in the States. He's saying, Maestro, what is your view of new generation music taste between old school and new waves?
Yeah, I mean, I'll quote Sergio George, who again is one of my idols, producer. For people who don't know, he's the brains behind DLG, La India, Mark Anthony salsa projects, a lot of Yahaira Plasencia there now, and he says, I just listen to it all, and I take what I like. I listen to what the young people do. I listen to the history of the music, and I just absorb everything. And then I decide what I will incorporate into my music. And I think that's the way, really. I mean, I find Tony Suka very inspiring, what he's doing at the moment. And he just released a trap salsa track that I wanted to do that, actually. There's trap music I found really interesting. So, yeah, I embrace it all,
You also, in 2018, did a track with, just moving away from there slightly, with Nolita Golding,
Yeah.
calling my name.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I play that so people can
Yes,
see?
with pleasure, because that is the artist for whom I'm just about to release a new single.
Yes, actually, yes. So this is Nolita Golding, Calling My Name.
Feels like the rain. I see the rain falling down. I feel I'm falling. And as I stare at the glow, I can hear it calling my name, and it's tearing me down. Another phase of this darkness surrounds, but it doesn't lie when it's telling me that love has died. And though I've moved on, and all is said and done, you're still calling my name, and it feels like the rain, and it's drowning my soul. You're still hanging on. It's time to move on, but you're calling my name, and it's all in vain. Ooh, it's all in vain. After the rain comes the sun. I can see things clearly. And who's to blame for what we become? When all I gave of me was my all. Took me for granted, thought I was yours. See, now I've moved on, and all is said and done. You're still calling my name, and it feels like the rain, and it's drowning my soul. You're still hanging on. Time to move on, but you're calling my name, and it's all in vain. Oh, yeah. And now it's all in vain. Calling my name. As time passes, you reap what you sow. It's time to let go. As time passes, you reap what you sow. Reap what you sow. As time passes, you reap what you sow. It's time to let go. It's time for change. It's time to set love free. But it doesn't matter when it's telling me that love has died. See, now I've moved on, and all is said and done. You're still calling my name, and it feels like the rain, it's all in vain. Oh, it's all in vain. Ooh, it's all in vain. Ooh, it's all in vain. Ooh, yeah. It's all in vain.
What a powerful voice. Wow. I'm
she's
so
a
impressed.
serious singer. I mean, serious.
Wow.
And she's half Canarian Islands, half Spanish and half English. So she,
Wow.
you know, she can switch. She lived in LA for 8 years, so she can do the kind of gospel pop thing, and then she can switch to perfect Spanish. So she's a very special artist. Yeah.
That was released in 2000 and what was it again? Let me just get the email up again.
It's about
2018.
18, yeah.
Yes.
We've got, there's a video we shot in Cuba for that. So you can look that up on YouTube. I, in fact, sent the link. Yeah.
Oh, you have? Okay, I'll share that with everybody. The time now is 2 hours and 12 minutes into the show, and it's 7:30 in the evening, Sunday here in Manchester and Sheffield. And we've got Mr. Alex Wilson in the house sharing his musical journey. What a fabulous evening we have had this evening. Also in the house, we had Nisha Gomes, all the way from Mumbai, India, and Anja, all the way in Germany, and my brother in arm, Mr. DJ Muzy Ashraf Paranda Ulas, all the way in Sheffield. What a long name that is. Absolutely brilliant.
Great.
Right, guys, it's been absolutely brilliant. Muzy, I'll pass it on to you, and then Anja, or whichever way you like. I'll share this link.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Alex, like I said, it's been a privilege and honor to have you on Latin Love Lounge, Ritmo del Mundo. This is, it's one of the, I just can't believe I actually met you finally, and all this time, playing your music, listening to your music, everything else. And it's been absolutely great finding out more about you, and everybody in the room is absolutely chuffed to bits as much as me and everybody else here on this platform, having to find out more about you and, being there for us and giving your valuable time. I hope to meet you again at some point, maybe a part 2. You can tell us about your projects and how they're going, the new projects that you talked about already. And, if that becomes live.
Yes, with pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That'll be great. I'm gonna play this song, but I have to give my apologies. If I play it full, Facebook, what it does is Facebook chucks us out because it's a well-known song. Okay, so this is why I'm gonna cut it short with my apologies. But I thought one last thing that has to be played, and because one of the popular songs that the dancers out there enjoys it so much, dancing to it and everything. So it's Show Me.
Why would they kick us out for playing Show Me? Why would they do that?
Ironically, because of the copyright thing, and this is quite ironic because we've got you in the actual interview.
That's disappointing.
I know, and we would really, It's just it's one of them things. Facebook, how Facebook operates.
What the DJs do who are playing the vinyls, they actually increase the pitch or lower the pitch.
Yeah.
To
change the
ensure
footprint.
that so that the Facebook police don't recognize.
How
But we play direct music, so we've been on for 2 hours 15 minutes now, so we're good to go. I think it'll be okay, Muzy. We still got go for it. Kick the bass, man.
Well, maybe we say what we need to say before it's played.
Yeah,
just
I
in
think
case.
so. I think so. Just in case we get kicked out and then having to come back again, it would be too rude. Not
Carlos
to come
Lopez. Carlos Lopez is explaining copyrights and algorithms. Owner can release it straight. So
yeah.
There we are.
I mean, it's a murky world out there. Let's say that.
Okay, guys. So just kick the bass, man, and then we'll say what we need to say after.
Shall we go with Alex's suggestion though? Just in case if we get kicked out, let's say what we need to say.
Each other again.
Yeah, that's impossible.
No, we're definitely going to meet again. I'm just planning my schedule for next week now because I think there is a chance that I will come to London on Friday. I'm just pulling putting it into practice in my head how I can do that. So yeah, it's like Muzu said. Few words from Anja first, I think, because she's our very special guest from Germany.
I'm just typing, just in case we are going to get kicked off. I just wanted to say thank you so much for your time and all my questions and all our questions. It was really, really amazing, really interesting to talk to you. And I was quite nervous. It's only my second time being live on Facebook, but you made it so easy.
Es war eine
So
Vergnügen. Vielen Dank
And
für deine
from now
Beiträge.
on, I will follow you on the different platforms, and maybe one day I get a chance to dance with you.
Das wäre wunderschön. Wir sind irgendwie in der Nähe. Wo bist du basiert? In dem Deutschland?
Ich bin in Bonn, in der Nähe von Köln.
Ja, okay, ja. Ich bin in Zürich. Also ist nicht so weit dann.
Ist nicht so weit, aber ich bin auch manchmal in London, also das geht schon.
Nein, vielen Dank für deine Beitrag. Ja, danke.
And Muzu.
Just adding to that, do you think that you might get somebody singing for one of your music in German?
Well, I've produced German tracks before. I'm not a salsa one yet. I haven't done a salsa one yet. I mean, there's 1,000 projects in my head.
Maybe.
I just how can you? It just comes down to money. Somebody put 100,000 in front of me. I'd just do all of this stuff. I mean, it'd be fantastic. I'm playing with there are some rappers here in Switzerland that rap in German really well. And that would be interesting to do. Kind of a salsa, dancehall rap thing. Who knows? I'll get back to you.
Absolutely.
Yes,
It's a good excuse to come back again for part 2 when we can talk about all this. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for your time and everything. Really nice to meet you. I send you a friend request already on Facebook. I understand if you got probably you got your limit now.
so annoying.
No,
I'll find
I
some
got
deactivated
became
things.
a friend with Alex. No, you still have a chance.
Way
good.
That's all from me.
Alex doesn't know.
Brilliant. And from me, Alex, I really appreciate your time. We go back many years from the radio days.
Yes.
You're an absolutely amazing musician, a genius to say the least. You cover all sorts of genres, and you represent UK in the salsa community so well.
Oh, well, that's so nice to hear.
We are proud of you.
Thank you.
And there's loads of people. Even now, DJ Camille Piek is listening to us in his car in the Netherlands. So, hey, Camille, DJ Caramello, great that you've joined us. And Pamela Lyons is agreeing with this. And absolutely brilliant. And we hope that we can bring you back again. And,
yes, with pleasure.
We meet up. And I hope that I can see you next Friday. I'll message you later on.
Okay.
Make a master plan in my head, see how I can get there.
Okay.
But in the meantime, let's have some music. Stay safe. God bless you. And if Muzu, we don't get kicked out, I'm going to play out on my last track, which I've queued up. So let's do this.
Okay. Well, just in case that happens, any last word from you, Alex?
Well, I'm just so heartened by your warm feedback, and also not only the warm reception, but you've done the research, music, what I've done. I mean, work like yours keeps this music alive, and it really does need champions such as yourselves to just keep the music alive in this world full of noise, to shine a spotlight on what we're doing. As you can see, I sit here for like 10, 12 hours a day, doing music, doing videos and everything, and it's a bit of a bubble. So to for all that you've said today, to know that my music's out there, being played, being danced to, being appreciated, it means so much. So thank you very much, and thank you for all the lovely comments. I'm seeing there's a guy who says he could sit in a bar and chat with me all night. Fantastic! I'll do that once COVID's over. Nolita Golding's just come on. Nolita Golding has just come on.
Nolita!
She should be the next guest.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could just join us now.
Excellent.
Hey, Nolita Golding, thank you very much for tuning in. We'd love to have you on the show. We'll message you shortly and
get her on.
Bring you back on, and let's talk about your music, because what a beautiful voice you have. Wow.
Amazing. She's an amazing artist.
So, viva la salsa, like you said, and we'll talk shortly. Muzy.
Okay.
Fantastic. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Alex Wilson, and this is one of your favorite song called "Show Me." Here we go.
Yeah. Why don't you just show me which way to go?
The room is on fire.
Where's Alex?
Oh, I'm back.
Can't help, I'm falling in love with you. This feeling is so brand new. Baby.
Show me.
Show me. What's the thing down deep inside? A feeling I no longer hide. Show me.
Oh man, honestly.
Show me.
Right tune.
How to make my dreams come true. I never want to get over you. Show me now. Ooh. Show me now. Which way to go? Show me now. Show me now. Which way to go? We share a feeling that's so rare, like you know I'm someone there. I just wanted you to say something. Show me. Ooh. Show me how to make you truly mine. I need to see you all the time. Show me. Show me. When I'm down, you pull me through. I can always count on you. Show me now. Show me now. Which way to go? And I need someone to show me now. Show me everything I wanna testify. I won't take you for granted. With you by my side. It all comes clear.
Yes, I think we're all singing right now.
Each time I see you, show me now. Show me, show me now. Which way to go? Show me now. Ooh, yeah. Which way to go? Show
Here we go.
Which way to go?
Wait for it. Ay, my goodness. Here we go. Come on. Energy.
Ay, pero dime dónde vas.
And I want you to show me.
Ay, pero dime dónde vas. ¿Dónde? Ay, pero dime dónde vas.
And I want you to show me.
Ay, pero dime dónde vas.
Ananania.
Ay, pero dime dónde vas.
Y lo creo.
Ay, pero dime dónde vas. Ay, pero dime dónde vas.
¿Cómo?
Ay, pero dime dónde vas.
Y lo creo. Escucha bien.
Enséñame cuál es el camino. Enséñame dónde tú vas.
Oye, necesito que me diga.
Enséñame cuál es el camino. Enséñame dónde tú vas.
Ay, pero dime dónde está
Ay.
el camino de la felicidad.
Enséñame cuál es el camino, enséñame dónde tú vas. Oye, enséñame cómo se hace para no equivocarse. Enséñame cuál es el camino, enséñame dónde tú vas. Show me now, show me now, which way to go.
Just show me which way to go. Oh man, honestly, awesome. Let me tell you something very quickly, Alex. I played this song when we had a picnic, salsa and picnic last week, and we played this, and absolutely, even the people just passing by and walking by, they joined because they love the song so much. Oh, brilliant! Thank you for that. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's been an absolute blast, Alex. So I'll play out on my last song because we have some connection here with this one guy. Stevie Winwood did Higher Love.
Yep.
And the last time I spoke to him was in '97 when he did the Carlsberg concert at the Wembley Arena. When they had the VIP room upstairs, I was one of the club DJs there. That was a long time ago, '97. So,
wow.
And I just love his music. He's such an amazing musician. So. Yeah. And you did his cover, didn't you? Give Me Your High Love.
Yeah.
So I'll play out on that one. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in tonight. It's been an absolute blast and always a pleasure. This is Latin Live Lounge with myself, DJ Amos, DJ Muzy, and Anja McBrien all the way in Germany, and DJ Princessa all the way in Mumbai, aka Nisha Gomes. So it's been an absolute blast. And this is Higher Love with Alex Wilson.
Think about it. There must be higher love down
Thank you, Carla Clark, to Bridget Walker, to Anja McBrien, to Natalia Saparova, Pamela Lyons, and everybody else. Carlos Lopez, my brother, all the way in the United States, for your contribution and your comments this evening. What a fab night. If you care to leave a message for Alex in the chat room, please feel free to do so. I'm sure he will look at it later on. Me and DJ Muzy always appreciate your messages. Susanna Farrago saying you are all amazing, and that's just Alex. Natalia, you have to come down to my place with your little boy sometimes. Lockdown is almost over. What a beautiful track indeed. What a beautiful track indeed. So once again, thank you guys, and we'll see you very, very soon. Take care for now. Ciao.